So I had a day recently where I really just was down in the pits and I really kind of struggled. Usually I can get out of it within an hour or two of feeling bad, but it lasted the whole day and part of the next day, and I was starting to get some red alert signs going on here. So what did I do? Well, stick around. I'll tell you about it right now. Thank you so much for coming back for this week's episode. So, yeah, depression happens for me. We've talked about this before. I'm not cured. I'll never be cured. There will be bad days. There will be off days. And I had one in particular recently where it was just a really rough day. And I didn't know what to do to pull out of it because it wasn't something that I had seen coming. It was just a day where it was just, I think I didn't have enough recovery maybe, or I burned myself out. I'm not sure what I did, but I really had a really low day. And, and there's some other factors that were going on too, and it just all piled all at the same time. It just hit at the wrong moment. So, but after about a day and a half, I just suddenly had this need to talk to people in general. And it dawned on me, I hadn't really been talking to people for a few weeks. I had been so wrapped up in what was going on with work that I would leave work, my brain would be fried, completely fried. There wouldn't be anything of me left. And of course, I'd go home, and I mentioned in the last episode, if I needed to, I'd vent to my wife and I'd talk to her about it, and we'd have a chance to kind of talk about things, and she would help get my mind off of things a little bit too, which was helpful. But there was something that was missing, and I didn't realize what it was. And it dawned on me, one of the things that I do when I'm driving home is I do one of 3 or 4 things. I'll listen to music, which I don't do very much anymore, going home at least. Because I've got an hour commute. I got an hour of time to kill. What do I do with this? So music's one. I could listen to an audiobook. I actually listen to an audiobook going in, so I do that already for part of my day. Sometimes I'll continue that book going home. 3, I may turn on the news. Not always the best thing for me, because by the time I get home, I'm usually yelling at somebody who did something stupid in the news. But that's just me. I don't know if you do that. But there's a 4th thing that I actually do a lot of, and that's I talk to people. I love being hands-free. I love how my car has hands-free technology, and it's one of the biggest blessings in my life. And for over the years that I've had hands-free technology in my vehicles, I have always had conversations with people going home. I'd be on the phone with people for half an hour to an hour. And it dawned on me, I hadn't been doing this in the last few weeks. I hadn't been calling anybody. I hadn't been talking to very many people. So I started calling people. And by the time the end of the week came around, I had talked to enough people going home that I hadn't talked to in a few weeks that I felt better. I felt wonderful. And I'd say probably about 50% of the time, I'm talking to somebody on the phone going home. And I'm usually on the phone for an hour, the whole hour, or at least a good half an hour, 45 minutes. I didn't realize how much I was missing this, and how much it felt, how good it felt, and what it did to take my mind off things, and what it did to lift my spirits for the day. And by the time I get home, I was doing a little better. I still needed to vent a little bit about work, because I don't vent to everybody about what's going on in my life sometimes. I'd still internalize and only share certain things with certain people. But with my friends that I talk to on the phone a lot, there's a lot of things that we talk about, and it helps get my mind off things. I've got a friend I talk to about my YouTube stuff. I've got a friend I talk to about my fitness stuff. Recently, I've got a friend I was talking to about other things, an old friend. I have all these different people with different aspects. It helps me to shift gears and to relax my mind, and it lifts my spirits when I'm social, when I'm talking to people. I sometimes get into this rut where I'm texting too much, and that just is so 1 and 0, on and off, black and white. There's no feeling, there's no emotion, there's no human connection to it. And it's so important to be able to make the human connection for someone like me who deals with technology all day long. I'm talking to a computer all day long. Do you know how crazy that gets after a while? I want to talk to a human being. I want to actually have a face-to-face conversation with a human being. I want to actually be around people. I'm one of those weird technology people who actually likes to be social. I know, think about it. Anyway, be social, talk to people. If you're depressed, go out and find somebody to talk to. You'd be surprised what it does for you. And you don't have to talk about your problems. It's not necessary to talk about your problems. Just having the human connection, to have that opportunity to connect with another human being. It's such a wonderful feeling. You have to do it. It's necessary in our lives, and it will lift your depression like you wouldn't believe. Thank you so much for coming here and watching another episode this week. I hope you'll go out and talk to a friend that you haven't talked to in a long time this week, or just pick up a phone and call somebody, anybody. Just talk to people. Check out my next episode next week. And hey, don't forget, there's a subscribe button here so that you can actually, and also click the little bell down here too, so that you'll get notified when my next episode happens. And oh, hey, don't forget, there's another episode that in case you missed it, go watch that one too. Thank you so much. I love you guys. We'll see you next week.